Hi, I'm Katie. I've been surrounded with vintage goodies most of my life, but just in the last 10 years, I've figured out just how much delight I get from having it in my home and looking at it for other people. Come along as I share my shopping adventures at thrift stores, estate sales, and sometimes even along the curb. I will also be showing some of my decorating projects that I've completed and how I have chosen to add vintage to my home for a modern granny chic look. I hope you will find joy along the way as we reawaken vintage. Hi everybody, in today's episode we are going to take a little walkabout through my master bedroom and my master bathroom. As I've mentioned before, I love to mix vintage with new things. I have never taken any classes. I do not claim to be any sort of expert when it comes to decorating. So we're just going to walk through what I have, what I've purchased, what I've gotten free, and then there's a few spots where I really could use your feedback on what you might think would be a good idea. So let's switch the camera around and take a look. I live in a tract home in Southern California, so not a whole lot of character to these homes, but we try our best to be able to add things along the way. So what you're looking at is the queen size bed setup. I always joke with people and say, can you figure out which side of the bed I sleep on versus which side of the bed my husband sleeps on? I actually cleaned up a little bit before this video. He sleeps on that side right there. And you usually can only tell because the bedside table is usually a little bit more, let's say, has a lot more goodies on it than mine. So let's take a look. So the actual bed itself, this headboard was made by my husband. Again, not at all someone who claims to be crafty or a handyman in any way. So we went to our local Habitat for Humanity thrift store a few years back and just purchased this door really, really cheap. Got some 4x4s and some wood for the top. Got a little medallion at, I think, Home Depot, painted it all, and that's what we've got. We have no footboard, excuse me. I have this, what really was an outdoor storage box. My dad bought it for me several years ago, and I just painted it and distressed it. In the last 8 months, I've changed the colors of the decor in here, so I still have my old gray cover that's on this. So looking for suggestions on a different material, different color. This is just hot glued onto a piece of foam. So any ideas? The blanket is here mainly because the two doggies, the two fur babies, sleep with us at the edge of the bed, and I need something, but obviously this is still a carryover from winter, so I'm gonna have to get myself some other throw blankets throughout the year. So this is not vintage, but a really big, this actually might be for a king size bed, just for when the weather gets a little warmer, our blanket. And then we've got our cute little from Amazon, our dust ruffle that has all the little pom-poms. So again, the dust ruffle and the sheets are new. Everything else is vintage, or at least used from the thrift store. All my pillows, some of you might be like, I'm not gonna buy a used pillow from a thrift store. Just wash them. I just threw them in the washer and the dryer and they were fine. I have my vintage pillowcases in this beautiful floral pattern, and then I have these vintage that are beautiful. If you can see it, they're beautiful peacocks. And I just had to have them. Just absolutely beautiful stitching on those. My end tables were handmade by my dad, who we could say is a woodmaker and a craftsman. So we have matching end tables for all of our goodies and our junk along the way. These are lamps that I picked up years ago, brand new, and just spray painted them white because they were black. This idea I actually saw from somebody on Instagram. So this is a really thin board that we stained, and then I just have some things attached to it. Or not attached, just leaning on it. Just different things that I picked up at the thrift store. Right away, my husband was like, when there's an earthquake, these things are gonna fall on our head. They probably will. Nothing is glass, nothing that would kill us. But we did have a challenge with attaching this to the wall because the normal like floating shelf hardware that you would get was too big because I got such a thin board. So maybe we'd do that a little different next time. Over here, I have a pair of vintage old windows, and then just a fun little flower that I got at Hobby Lobby. When you are using vintage windows inside your house, you have to remember the possibility, the good possibility, that there is lead paint on there. And so I went on, I believe it was Amazon, and was able to get something, I can't remember what it was because it was a few years ago, to treat and cover that paint. I didn't want to strip the paint down. And of course, if it's lead, I don't want to be scraping it away and ingesting all of that. So I got something that I could cover the paint and kind of seal it in. If I can remember, I will try to find that and link that in the video if you're at all curious. Again, hubby's side of the bed, just some old white shelves that have been floating around my house forever. I love my Cruel needlepoint, so I have one of those and a vintage teal planter or pitcher that I got at a thrift store a long time ago. The windows, just IKEA. I love IKEA for curtains because they have really long curtains at really good prices. So this is actually 4 curtains, 2 on each side, along with just a dowel from Home Depot that I stained. Doesn't even have ends to it. And then 2 wood brackets. Over here, again, thrift store shelves and then some vintage goodies. If you can see, each one has a tiny little plate behind the goodie that's there. And then my husband made me this blanket ladder. And so I've got a few of my more teal colored Afghans that I've come across along the way. This dresser has been with us since almost day 1 of marriage, maybe not day 1, maybe a few years in. Seen many colors along the way. We bought it in an unfinished furniture store, so it was just an unfinished brand new dresser that has been black and is now white. And then on here are some goodies. I've got my vintage jewelry box that I picked up along the way at a thrift store one time, a milk glass lamp that I just loved, and I just purchased a new lampshade from Walmart, and just a couple other little goodies, right? Some fake flowers, a milk glass holder that, yes, it's holding rawhides for the dogs. And then my husband, I saw this again, someplace, Instagram or something. And I was like, honey, can you make me that? So again, it's just some pieces of wood that were stained. And then he painted this design on it. So now let's go to the master bathroom. Again, trying to throw in some teal colors. So I've got some vintage teal towels. And this that I picked up, I think, on Facebook Marketplace for like $5. This shower is new to us. We got it installed last August. We had a traditional track home, and again, if I still have pictures, I will link them someplace, where this was a bathtub slash shower stall. So it was one big set that they just plop into newer track homes, and we had it in our home for years and years. As the kids grew, one of them has moved out now. I don't personally take baths, and our shower was so tiny. So we ripped the whole thing out and made it just one gigantic shower, which we absolutely love. We had to replace the windows. Yes, there were already windows in here. We replaced them with the kind that you cannot see in or out. We have one rain ceiling shower head, and then we got the little nook put in there. And then again, because we have doggies that we want to shower, not shower with, but shower in here, we've got that as well. And then my pride and joy, an old vintage buffet that I found on an auction, and I have another one in my house that's smaller. So if you're looking for this for your bathroom, you're gonna want to find the longest one possible. And I want to say this is I want to say it's the 6-foot model. They made a lot of 5-foot, but the 6-foot is definitely what you want. So our contractor was able to redo it. You know, he took the original wood top off, which I'll show you in some other video what I did with that. And then we picked out the quartz countertop that we wanted and new sinks. And then he had to, in order for the plumbing, he had to cut some of the drawers a little differently, but it works out amazing. So again, do not judge me. So these were already in here. They're pull-out drawers, and you can see what he did. He had to reconfigure this drawer to fit around one of the pipes, but it was amazing. It still had the original drawers. I don't know that I can open this with one hand. Oh, I can. Here's my makeup drawer. Again, this little caddy drawer original to this. So I was able to put all of my makeup in there. I absolutely love it. I love the impact that it has, and just the fact that this was a lot cheaper than anything that you could find at a store, and what an impact it makes. Mirror-wise, I found the mirror on the side of the road. At the point I grabbed it, didn't know what I was gonna do with it. But of course, a couple years later, it was like, oh, we're gonna redo our bathroom. Look at what we can use. Just one little vintage Avon box that I have here that has Q-tips in it as just a little touch. And my latest addition, it's not vintage, and the reason I didn't buy a vintage one is I was just really worried about wiring. We have a really tall ceiling in our bathroom, and so I went ahead and found this on Marketplace. Not old, not even quite the color I want. It's silver, but there you go. So I just wanted something girly, a little glammy. We have not really a walk-in closet. I'm not opening it for you guys. You can step in it, but it's not like the big new traditional walk-in closet. It's a little smaller, but it fits what we need it to fit. So that is my bedroom walkthrough. So this is the area in my bed and this bench and this blanket that I need some suggestions and some ideas for. So let me know what you would do, and I guess any other suggestions, as long as they're not mean. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.